Good morning, I'm Lois. Here are your headlines in the East Midlands. And after all the rain we're having, there are a number of flood warnings in place across the region this morning. They include along the River Trent through Nottinghamshire, including Lenton, and also in Derbyshire and in Burton-upon-Trent. So do take care if you're heading out today. And we will, of course, have a full forecast later in the bulletin. Well, in other news this morning, an 18-year-old man is due to appear at Leicester Crown Court tomorrow, charged with murder following the death of a De Montfort University student. Plans for a new 20-mile-per-hour speed limits on more than 30 roads across Leicester are due to be approved this week, as plans for a £5 million crematorium in Hinckley have been scrapped. The King George V Community Centre and playing fields in Littleover in Derby has officially reopened. And a picture of the iconic Lancaster bomber recreated in poppy form has won a photography competition. OK, let's take a look at the all-important weather forecast now. Here's Amanda. Thanks, Amanda. And that is it from us this morning. I'll hand you back now to Susanna and Ed in London. Have a lovely day, whatever you're up to. Bye-bye. Good morning, I'm Lois. Here are your headlines in the East Midlands. A number of flood warnings and alerts remain in place across the region following a long run of rainfall, which is set to continue. In other news, a man is expected to appear before Leicester Crown Court today, charged in connection with the death of a Leicester student. The number of body-worn cameras being used by East Midlands Railway staff to stop abuse is being doubled. Experts in the Midlands are warning schools they could be neglecting a key area of online safety for their students. And finally, there's set to be a boost for the numbers of otters in our region. Warden. OK, no major travel updates. Let's take a look at the weather forecast with the details. Here's Des. Thank you very much, Des. And that is it from us this morning. There is, of course, more on the website. That's itv.com/central. I'll hand you back now to Susanna and Ed in London. Have a lovely day, whatever you're up to. Bye-bye. Good morning, I'm Lois. Here are your headlines in the East Midlands. De Montfort University will be holding a moment of reflection today to remember a student who was stabbed and killed near the campus. 20-year-old. A woman who was found guilty of murdering and burying her girlfriend in a garden in Derby more than 15 years ago is due to be sentenced today. The remaining two Leicestershire day centres, which support elderly people living with severe dementia, are under threat of closure. Well, the Integrated Care Board has told us it is yet to make a final decision on funding for the next financial year. In other news, there's been a significant rise in the number of people using fake disability badges in Nottingham, according to the City Council. The authority and a project to revitalise the main paths and surfaces in a Leicestershire country park is beginning. Well, more heavy rain, I'm afraid, overnight. Will there be any let-up? Let's have a look at the forecast. Here's Des. Thank you, Des. That's it from us this morning. I'll hand you back now to Susanna and Ed. Bye-bye. Good morning, I'm Lois. Here are your headlines in the East Midlands this Friday morning. The daughter of a woman who was murdered by her girlfriend and buried in a garden in Derby has said she's pleased to see her mother's killer jailed. The family. Well, in other news, a Nottinghamshire council left with a £30 million black hole in its SEND budget has described government plans to write most of it off as a massive relief. In sport, Nottingham Forest are still on the hunt for a new manager following the sacking of Sean Dyche this week. But for Burton, it's a big clash in the FA Cup against Premier League side West Ham. And the first trees of a new woodland in Nottinghamshire, which will cover more than 52 acres. OK, time for the weather forecast. Here's Des. Thanks, Des. That's it from us this morning. I'll hand you back now to Kate and Ranveer. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.